I went from sounding like this at 10 years old to sounding like this at 26 years old. If we're being completely honest, I would have gotten to where I am today light years faster if I'd have known what I knew now back then. So in today's video, I'm gonna break down the 5 most brutal lessons that I had to learn to go from a trash drummer to a full-time professional traveling musician that I am today. So let's jump straight into it. What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the School of Chops YouTube channel. If you are new here, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any more excellent videos. For those of you that do not know, my name is Zyck and I am a full-time traveling paid musician, meaning I get paid to travel around the US just to play drums. If you would like to work with me one-on-one to increase your creativity and skill around the drums, as well as avoid these 5 brutal situations that I'm getting ready to break down, then you should hit the link in the description to find out how you can apply. Now, let's start with lesson number 1. Listen more than you play. I cannot stress this enough. I remember when I was fresh out of high school and I was expecting to be great without listening. Your ears are your eyes as a musician. Whenever I was in college, I used to struggle with understanding the different nuances of different genres, and that can be a big problem. I was in a position where I was trying to approach everything the same, and that doesn't work. As drummers, we have to be chameleons, so to speak, and be able to fit and place ourselves in different musical situations. Because of my lack of listening, I wasn't able to do that, and that put me in a position where people were not able to call me because I wasn't able to give the music the type of feel and the type of vibe that it needed. The only way that you will be able to do this is by listening. We all have a genre that we start with, and that is usually our foundation. For a lot of people, it's maybe jazz, or for some people, it's maybe gospel from playing in church. It's okay for that to be your foundation, but if you let it take control over every type of genre that you play, you're gonna find yourself adding certain things into the music that doesn't need to be there. You have to remember that using your ear as a musician is your secret weapon. How can you know how to approach certain musical situations if you've never listened to certain examples? How can you figure out a specific approach for a certain genre of music if you've never listened to that certain genre of music? Whatever you put your ear to is going to be exactly what comes out of you. Think about it like this. If you have a kid around and you're cussing around that kid all the time, the kid is eventually gonna start saying curse words. That's because that's what they're hearing. So if you're listening to jazz music all the time, when you sit down behind the drums and you start playing, the different nuances that you do are gonna be from the jazz setting. Now, if you go on to play in a rock band, those same things that you were hearing in jazz are not going to be applicable. You're not gonna be feathering the bass drum. You're not gonna be doing everything ride lead. It's gonna be completely different because you're playing rock. So you need to put your ear to some rock music to be able to do what the rock band needs you to do. And when you're able to do this, this will open up your opportunities to be able to play more gigs and to be able to execute for more bands how they need you to. Always listen to different types of music so you're never caught off guard when it comes time for you to serve a gig. It is the saddest thing when musicians have to turn down gigs or don't feel confident on a gig because they're not familiar with the genre. And I know you may be thinking like, well, I don't know what to play. If you don't know what to play, then put your ear to it and listen to it. And over time, you will know what to play because you understand the nuances of the different genres. Now, let's jump right into lesson number 2. Pay attention to how you practice. I remember when I was in high school and I started getting serious about getting good at the drums and I started practicing a lot more. But one thing I realized was I wasn't getting good. I wasn't practicing the right things. So you have to focus on exactly what you're practicing. It's not about how long you're practicing. A lot of people get caught up in, oh, I'm about to go practice for 9 hours. I'm about to go practice for 6 hours and I'm gonna be the best ever. If you spend 9 hours practicing something that is not helping you, then you're not going to get better. So you have to pay attention to how you're practicing. Think about it like this. If you're only practicing the things that you're good at or the things that you like, how are you ever going to get better and better and push through the plateaus? There's no way you can reach and be the type of musician you want to be if you're continuously practicing the same things or practicing things that aren't serving you as a musician. Is your practice focused? Are you locked in on what you're supposed to do? Do you even know what you need to be doing to get better? These are questions you have to ask yourself so you know how you are practicing. Always keep in mind that it's quality over quantity. The way you're practicing is way more important than how much you're practicing. And when I say how you're practicing, I mean the quality, and I also mean what you're practicing. A lot of musicians aren't practicing anything that is gonna help elevate them, which is why they're stuck in the plateau. If you have a person that doesn't know what to practice and is not focused in practice versus a person that knows what they need to work on and is very focused on what they need to work on, you already know who's gonna get the better results. One thing that I found to help me when I was in college was keeping a practice journal. Every time I sat down to practice, I wrote down what I was working on, what beats per minute I was at, and what kind of improvement I've seen. And over time, I was able to keep track of what I was doing and keep track of my progress. If you can keep track of your progress, that's gonna make you feel better about yourself, and that'll make you feel more motivated to keep practicing. But these are the different things and the different factors that have to tie in with how you're practicing. You really gotta dig in and look at what you're doing and give yourself an opportunity to say, man, am I actually getting better or am I just playing the drums? Now, keep in mind, you wanna be having fun. If you're not having fun, then you need to stop doing it. Make sure you're having fun, but don't allow yourself to fall behind in the name of having fun. There's gonna come a time in your musician journey when you're gonna have to practice things that you do not like. I can remember in high school, just practicing flams. It was the worst thing ever, but I have to be good at flams if I want to be a good drummer. That's just a part of the game. So there's gonna come a time when you're gonna have to practice stuff you do not want to practice, but I can guarantee you the stuff that you're dreading to practice and you don't want to practice is the very things that are gonna help you break through that plateau and make you a noticeable, memorable drummer. Now, let's jump into lesson number 3. Lesson number 3 is to challenge yourself. You want to make sure you're putting yourself in a position to get better. The moment that you begin to feel uncomfortable on your instrument is the moment you need to keep doing exactly what you're doing. The first step to improvement is being uncomfortable. I had to start pushing myself. I had to start learning more rudiments. I had to start learning different grips. I had to start studying the different drummers that came before me and then the different drummers that came before them. I had to start studying different genres and really open up my mind to say, wow, there's so much more about drums that I don't know. See, when you're getting to a point in yourself where you're thinking like, oh yeah, I know this, I know that about drums, I know this about drums, I know that about drums, that is a dangerous place to be. You don't ever want to be in a place where you know everything about your instrument, because guess what? If you're studying properly, you'll realize that you don't know anything about your instrument and that there's so much more to learn and so much more to get from it. You can never learn enough about your instrument, and the more you learn, the better you're going to get. I can remember whenever somebody hit me up to play a country music gig in 2019. This gig eventually led me to playing on the stage of the Carolina Country Music Fest, which is the festival that over 40,000 people go to. Whenever I first got the message, I'm like, dang, I don't play country. I don't think I'm gonna say yes to this. But something gave me a nudge and it told me I should do it. And I'm so happy that I did that. I had to learn more about country drums. I had to learn more about country music artists. I had to learn more about country music in general. So when I sat down to play the gig, I was ready to do it. And now I absolutely love country music and I love to play it. Challenge yourself to learn more about your equipment. Learn more about the different options in your equipment. Challenge yourself to learn more about running sound. Challenge yourself to learn more about maybe running Ableton or running tracks in general or building tracks. Music is such a big, broad umbrella. The drums is just a small part of it, but you can learn so much about production. You can learn about lights. So always challenge yourself because it will all be beneficial to you as a drummer, and you can use these things to better yourself as a musician and a drummer overall. Now, let's get into lesson number 4. It's okay to lean on other musicians. I didn't learn this until I got to college when I went to Berklee College of Music. When you find yourself in a community of good musicians, it's really, really good for you because we need to hear when we're doing well, but we also as musicians need to hear when we're not doing so well. And if you can find some healthy musicians around you that can give you the real when you need it, that will do nothing but skyrocket your progress. When I first started school at Berklee, I thought that the lone wolf technique would get me the respect and get me to where I wanted to be. I don't need to be around other drummers. I don't need to talk to other drummers. I just need to focus on what I want to do. That is not the way. Building community, leaning on other people, getting information from other drummers that can pour into you, and also giving yourself an opportunity to pour into them is key. You're only gonna get so good with working by yourself. And that's with anything, not just music. You need to get to a point where you expand horizontally and get with some people that are doing the things that you are trying to do. I can remember the moment in college when I realized that I need to start utilizing hanging out with other musicians and knowing other musicians. And that was when I started shedding. It was a couple things I figured out whenever I first started shedding. Number one, I'm not as good at improvising as I thought I was. And number two, I don't know a lot of these drummers. I don't know who they are. I have no background. I just see them around. So you don't want to be the person that, you're so focused on getting better at drums that you completely neglect the drum community in your area. There is a drum community. There are other people that play drums. There are people that probably want to sit down and play with you and exchange ideas. Get to know those people. Lean on those people and help foster that community, because those are also connections. After a while, I started realizing if I couldn't make something as a drummer, I know a great drummer over here that can do it. Or if this specific drummer can't make something, hey yo, call Zyck, he can get the job done. You need that community. You need to lean on other people. And when I say lean on others, I also mean lean on people that you can trust to guide you and teach you and push you in the right direction. One thing I learned when I was working with my professors in school was just because they're really, really, really good at what they do doesn't necessarily mean that they're gonna be a good fit for you when they're teaching you. So I had to jump around from a couple professors, and it took me a while to find the people I like. But once I found the professors that I liked and that I could relate to, that is when my playing really, really did take off. Now, I chose to go to Berklee, which is a very, very expensive music school, but you don't have to do that. The key to finding the right teacher is to find someone that is doing what you want to do. Let's just say you want to be the one that swings jazz with your jazz orchestra in your city. Well, guess what? You need to find somebody that is currently doing that or that has done that in the past. You are living in a time where you can figure it out and get with people, whether it be virtually or in person. And keep in mind, if you want to increase your skills behind the kit, your confidence, your creativity, your vocabulary, your flow, then you can work with me, because hey, I do offer that, okay? So if you want to work with me one-on-one, hit the link below in the description and find out how you can apply. Last but most importantly, not least, do not compare yourself. We are living in a generation where it is so easy to compare yourself to other musicians. I remember when I was in college, it was really, really hard. I had to look at all of these killing musicians surrounding me. And then on top of that, I had the kids on the internet that are like 6 years old, blazing chops somewhere in China. But guess what? You cannot let that discourage you. When you see other drummers doing very, very amazing things, just keep in mind that you don't know their background. You don't know who's teaching them. For all you know, that might be Dennis Chambers' nephew or something, and he has a resource that you did not have. You are on your journey and you are running your race. And if you uniquely become you as a musician and you dig into your identity, people are gonna call you because of that alone. If you're scrolling on social media, don't fall into the trap of comparing yourself to so many other drummers, because it's only going to hurt you in the long run and distract you from actually being able to continue working on the craft. If it was 1990, the only drummers you would run into is the ones on a VHS, live TV, the radio, or in person. But now we have all these different social media platforms. As you're scrolling, you're just seeing more and more killing drummers. And it can make you feel discouraged, like, man, am I where I'm supposed to be? Am I growing as fast as I should? The answer is yes. But guess what? You determine how fast you grow. You determine if you're where you're supposed to be, not somebody playing on Instagram across the country. So do not compare yourself to other people, man. Use it as inspiration. Look at how good somebody is and be like, man, I'm gonna reach that one day. Not I want to or I wish I can. No, I'm going to reach that level one day. I'm going to get there. I'm gonna fight and I'm gonna push myself to reach this high level of drumming. You know, it's really funny. Some of the same people that I was comparing myself to and looking up to when I was in school are the same people DMing me now, telling me how amazing at drums I am and how awesome I sound. So the next time you're scrolling and you're feeling a little bit discouraged, I want you to remember this. Check yourself. Say, hey, I am a good drummer. I am where I'm supposed to be, and I'm doing the things I'm supposed to do to get better. And over time, if you keep working hard and you keep practicing, you will see these things come to fruition. So do not compare yourself. If you're feeling like you gotta compare yourself, close the app and have a reset. If you're seeing somebody and it makes you feel discouraged, don't be mad at them. Look at them as inspiration, like, wow, that's really good. I wanna get there one day. compete. Like, yo, man, I'm gonna get there. I'm hungry for it, right? You gotta dig in. But comparing yourself is only gonna put you in a deep hole that is really, really hard to get out of. All right, y'all, with that being said, that is gonna conclude this video. This YouTube channel has so much more coming to you, so hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any of it. And once again, if you want to work with me one-on-one and you wanna increase your skills and vocabulary on the drums, then click the link in the description to find out how you can apply. I would love to help you, and I would love for you to see the results just like all my other students. With that being said, love y'all, hold it down, don't compare yourself. Peace.